In this adventure we take the two Land Cruiser Prados for a camping trip at a high altitude camp we know and love. We are going to be cooking some oversized steaks, and the next day we are going to be doing a short Land Rover Discovery vs Land Cruiser Prado off-road battle. This brings me nicely into the beginning of the video where I share some of my Land Rover Discovery vs the Land Cruiser Prado thoughts. As we are making our way towards the mountains, we are in the lower villages right now, stuck behind a lorry. But as we do so, I wanted to add some thoughts regarding the Land Cruiser Prado vs the Discovery one. I do get questions often, especially on Instagram, from people asking my opinion on which car is better. The short answer is there is no better car. They are very different vehicles. Each one of them has its good points and its bad points. I should probably make a dedicated video on this because there are too many things to cover, but in short form, the Land Cruiser is definitely the more comfortable vehicle because it is much more refined, it is much quieter, much smoother on the road, while the Discovery is more utilitarian. It is more off-road oriented, which makes sense. It has the same chassis as the Defender, which was pretty much designed to be a vehicle for the farm, a vehicle for work, and a vehicle for off-roading. You have solid axles, you have a big fat chassis, while the Land Cruiser is independent suspension. It also has a very strong chassis, but the front end isn't as off-road oriented. The engine is the Prado's best point. The 1KZ 3-liter turbo diesel is a lovely engine. It is very simple. It does have an electronic fuel pump, but it is one of the first electronic fuel pumps, so there isn't much to go wrong with them. It has a larger displacement, so it pulls from down low in the rev range. Right now I am in third gear doing 1100 RPM, and I can accelerate normally. The 300 TDI always wants to be higher in the rev range. It is a smaller displacement engine. It has a mechanical fuel pump, so it cannot adjust the fuel that goes into the cylinders based on temperature, based on oxygen density if you are up higher in the mountains. Yeah, it can't do any of those readings, but of course, because it can't do all of those readings, it can work underwater because it has no electronics. It is incredibly reliable. We like to camp as far away from the nearest road or trail as possible. The campsite we are heading to is one of our favorites for that specific reason, because it is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. To get to it, we need to drive through the beautiful forest, following a barely visible trail. So a bit of a situation update. Camp has officially been set up. Chris wanted to sleep far away from me because he says
he makes inappropriate noises during the night.
Chris has the more prepared setup, which in camping terms basically means he has spent more money.
It's so true, that's what it is. You're right. Yeah.
You could say that my setup is as affordable as it gets. An inflatable mattress and a tent from Decathlon
store.
Yes, I wanted to sleep in the Prado, but sadly the platform I have for the Disco won't fit in the Prado. So for today it is
what it is.
It is what it is. It is 10th day today.
It's 10th day today.
But yeah, beautiful spot.
Yeah, this is one of our favorite spots in Cyprus. It's beautiful, it's peaceful, nice breeze. There are a lot of trees, so the sunlight in the morning doesn't get directly into your tent, so it does block it a little bit, which is great. And it's the most level sort of area here to set up the tent, because you don't want to be sleeping on an incline or a decline. You want your head to be, if it is an incline or a decline, you want your head to be slightly towards the incline, so the blood doesn't rush to your head. That makes sense. So yeah.
Because then you'll die.
Because then you'll die, yeah.
Tonight's video will end here because we will indulge ourselves
And some heavy drugs.
in some heavy drugs or a full-blown cow. And we'll see you tomorrow. The next day we woke up, enjoyed the beautiful sunrise, some morning coffee, chatted around for a bit, and then Chris left with the Prado, and my friend Andreas showed up with his Land Rover Discovery. Of course, it would not have been a video from the untraveled path without a Land Rover in it. And this short section right here is the perfect spot to showcase the capabilities of the Discovery and the capabilities of the Land Cruiser. Of course, the Discovery is on larger 33-inch mud terrain tires, and it has a larger suspension lift, a 4-inch lift, and it is a long travel kit. The Land Cruiser is on 32-inch all-terrain tires and a 2-inch lift. However, even if I wanted, I could not make the Land Cruiser have the wheel articulation that the Discovery has due to the limitations of the independent front suspension. As you can see, the Discovery makes it up this section right here without any issues. The front axle moves according to the terrain really nicely. It follows the actual holes and undulations of the ground, keeping all wheels in contact at all times. The Land Cruiser, as you can see, is far stiffer than the Discovery. This is evident by the amount of movement in the body, and because of the increased stiffness, as you can see, it gets stuck right here and it can't actually make its way further without using the rear differential locker. Now, the stiffer suspension on the Land Cruiser means that of course it will handle better in turns on road, and it will be able to carry more weight without sagging as much. However, when it comes to pure off-road ability, the soft suspension of the Land Rover is the winner here. Of course, with rear locker, the Land Cruiser makes it up as well, but as you can see, it lifts its front wheel. It is barely visible, but without that rear locker, and even if it had mud terrain tires, I don't think it would have been able to make it up this section. So yeah, this is pretty much everything for this video. Thank you for watching. If you want to help the channel a little further, you can do so by joining the members club. If not, then of course that's okay, and I'll see you on the next one.